Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Ah, nice. Frothed milk today. A little bit of honey. And community coffee from Baton Rouge. Nice. 39 degrees. A little chilly. Slightly chilly. Not enough to wear a hat. Someone said, why do I wear a hat in the house? Because I'm freezing. That's why. And in the cozy nook here, which is a little part of my kitchen that is bumped out, it's probably, maybe 10 by 10. Over there is sliding glass doors and then 2 windows here, so it's just freezing here. Cold. When it's cold out. It's okay right now. But when you see me wearing like a fleece jacket and a hat, it's just wicked cold out. It's going to be as high as 60 today. I'm blown away at that. 60 degrees today. Take a walk during lunch. Probably do a 2-mile walk. If it's truly going to be 60. Let's get started here. Mayor Pete was a dry run. Don't doubt me on that. I'm positive the oligarchs were taking notes for the past couple years with him, strategizing and planning an even bigger rollout. You think in 4-year terms, like presidents every 4 years. They think in decades, in half-century metrics. Sharing your thoughts gets you disinvited from certain parties, but gets you invited to the ones that you really want to be at. Don't be afraid to open your mouth. You're probably, I'm guessing probably half of the people that you hang out with you really don't want to be with. I'm guessing. Half the people that you are associated with, you don't want to be associated with. It's time to open your mouth and be a little bit out of character. Do it. Just do it. Have you ever seen the movie Bitter Moon by Roman Polanski? I am halfway through it. Watched half of it last night. I'll watch the other half probably tonight. It's definitely a conversation starter with a little Kohlberg moral dilemma twist. It begs the question, what would you do? I like movies that make me reflect and think about myself. What would I do if I was in that situation? Bitter Moon by Roman Polanski. It is a bit of taboo. That's all I'm going to say. But it would be interesting to see what you think after you watch the movie, and then get back to me and put your comments down below. That would be awesome. I said, ladies, do you like kissing a dude with a massive beard and mustache where you only feel a huge mass of hair where there should be lips? I took a poll. 26% of the women said, yes, it's sexy. 42%, no, it doesn't feel good. And 32% said, I would rather feel it elsewhere. So 42%, a little less than half, said no, not interested in kissing a massive face of hair. Here's my personal experience. White women hated my big beard. I'm talking the big beard. Big giant beard. Hated it. It was interesting. They wouldn't want to get near it. But it was interesting. But they just weren't interested in me. And then when I shaved it off and went to something like this, or a goatee, the floodgates opened up. There was one exception. The big white beard attracted more black women than I've ever experienced in my life. The joke that I told was, I'm walking through the mall when I used to work in a damn mall. Big beard. And a black woman is approaching me, and she looks me up and down, looks at the beard, and she goes, what's up, daddy? Now, I haven't been called daddy since the 70s. And because I am a child of the 60s and 70s, my answer was, "You, Mama, you're what's up." She smiled, blushed. I said, "Have a good day." She says, "Thanks." And we just kept, she went her way, I went mine. But the reality is, I got more compliments and more raised eyebrows and smiles from black women with the big white beard. Don't know why. It was more like a sociological experiment. White women, forget it. Totally forget it. Come to your own conclusions on that. I don't really have any conclusions. Those are just facts. Never go to a Christian retreat center if you have a wife that is, how can I put it, loud when she makes love, because you'll be asked to not return by the staff. True story. The reason is, no one else is getting laid there, and they certainly wouldn't want to have anyone there who's actually having fun. I went to a Christian retreat center with my wife, thinking it was going to be like a honeymoon kind of thing, just like a little getaway. They didn't have TVs in the room. They didn't have TVs in the rooms because they don't want you watching TV, that evil TV. And the activities were like shuffleboard and checkers and Bible studies and stuff like that. And a beautiful setting. But the reality was, it just, I guess to me, I would think it was just more of a retreat center for singles and kids and men's ministries and women's ministries. But for a couple to go and do a getaway there, it just was, sometimes, you know what they say the definition of a Puritan is? A Puritan is somebody who has a sneaking suspicion that somebody, somewhere, is having fun. And that is not my favorite kind of person to be around. And I removed those kind of people from my life, like we were talking about. Speaking up gets you disinvited from certain parties, but gets you invited to others. And that's one of the parties that I was glad to be disinvited from. What cruise lines are the most adult-oriented? What do you think? As in, they're not Disney-ish cruises that don't cater to 1 million kids. I can see where families go on cruises. I can see that. Cruises are fun. I want to take a cruise this year. I've always liked cruises. I don't know. It's been a long time. But I don't want to be mixing with rugrats everywhere. Just not interested in that. So what cruise line do you take? I've been on Holland America, Royal Caribbean, Costa Cruises. What else? Holland America, Royal Caribbean, Costa. I think those three. That was it. Great times. Really good times, yeah. What is the biggest you have ever gotten yourself into? Where did you really mess up more than any other time in life? And how can you make a 2-part course out of it? A, how to avoid it. B, how to get out of it. Because there are people who are screwing up in life just the way you did. Does anyone here have a connection to a department chairperson at FIT in Melbourne, Florida? Because I'm thinking I wouldn't mind teaching a class or two there. If you have a connection with anyone, a department chairperson at FIT, Florida Institute of Technology, let me know. Private message me, gb@georgebruno.com. Thank you. I know he'll think someone stole your phone or that you drank too much, but send your man, ladies, send your man a sexy, alluring picture this week. A picture for his eyes only. A picture that when he opens up his phone, the text, he has to look around and kind of like Be like, whoa. I guarantee you he will save that picture. Yes. Come on. Do it. It's okay. He's your man. No one else's. And it's for his eyes only. Yeah. If you don't lift weights and harden up a little bit, men, your wife Sierra will end up being your wife Sahara. Don't doubt me on that one. Some of you will get that. The reason why your enemy, not your competitor, the reason why your enemy still exists and hassles you regularly is because you didn't utterly take them out in the first round or two. You played nice, and that's your problem. You play nice. Your epitaph will say, he was such a nice guy. Stop being a nice guy. Most of the time with women, a hard body means a hard face. Make softer and curvier great again. Anything but cotton makes everything smell, armpits and private parts, when it comes to underwear and t-shirts. So-called moisture-wicking fabrics. Smell the garment and smell your armpits after wearing a moisture-wicking fabric. Cotton. 100% cotton all the way, man. I don't care what anyone says. Space-age fabrics. Give me cotton. I asked a Pentecostal pastor to pray for my hearing. He put his hands in my head and his ears and he shook. And he prayed loudly. He asked, "How is your hearing now?" I said, "I don't know. It doesn't take place until Tuesday at the courthouse." Some people got your back, and some people got your wallet. Do not confuse the two. Right now, today or this week, I want you to take all of your underwear, men and women. Men are pretty rough with their underwear, so I guess this is mainly for men. Throw out all your existing underwear. Take $100, $125, and go buy all new underwear. Do that once a year. I call it the annual underwear purge. The reason is that most men don't get rid of their underwear until their underwear is like loose and hanging, and their junk is hanging out, and it ends up looking like a mesh underwear. Holes in it, elastic band, all loose. Come on, guys. Come on. And especially guys, who have girlfriends and wives. The only time you get new underwear is when the girlfriend or the wife says, "Hey, dude, it's time to get some new underwear." I know we get sentimental about these things. It's really just laziness. So, think about it. Here it is. Beginning of March. Today's what? March 2nd. March 20th is the first day of spring. So think about this. March is new underwear month. Ditch the old underwear. Buy all new ones. I'm not talking about buying 2-packs, like 2 4-packs. Dude, go spend $100 on some new underwear. Okay? Get 30 new underwears. 30. Chuck the other ones. Don't get sentimental about your underwear or socks. Out. Rich Cooper. Let me comment on Rich Cooper. Rich Cooper is 100% correct on no longer trying to save marriages. There is a threshold. Let me add my 2 cents here. Once that line is crossed, you end up becoming roommates. Marriage is over. Exploration sessions with a solid mentor can determine if it's worth it to keep going. If it's not, you'll spend $100,000 and all of your emotional capital and waste time trying to save something, trying to breathe life into a corpse. But a good mentor, coach, can help you determine if that marriage is dead or if it truly can be saved. It's better to spend a little money like that than it is to lose the house and half of everything. Start early. Start early. I remember years ago talking to a therapist who does nothing but work with couples. And there's a thing in Pennsylvania where if a couple's getting divorced, usually one wants to get divorced and one doesn't. And that's where the fight begins. And Pennsylvania state law says that the party that doesn't want to get divorced has the right to get a court order by the judge to order the other party to go for counseling and therapy to try to save the marriage. I remember talking to a therapist that said, that is a tough debt to collect. Literally, those were his words. That's a tough debt to collect. I go, what do you mean by that? He said, in all my years of doing therapy, which was probably about 30 years, he said he never saw a couple come back together as a result of the ice maker in the refrigerator. It scared the crap out of me, man. I got my Opinel knife right here, ready to rock. You guys don't know how many weapons, if you knew how many weapons I have within reach right now, you'd be surprised. He said, in 3 decades of doing therapy, all right, ice maker, enough already. He said in 3 decades of doing therapy, he said he never saw a marriage come back together or get saved as a result of forced, court-ordered therapy. Compulsive therapy doesn't work that way. Doesn't work. All parties have to be willing. That's why I say it's worth it to work with someone to see if the marriage is a corpse. If it's already dead, you're performing CPR on a dead body. There's no life in it, and you're not going to breathe any life into it with therapy. Most rentals, apartment rentals, condo rentals with the word Lakeview in their title are merely looking out over a retention basin, right? If you want to know what a real lake is and have a real lake view, go to upstate New York. That truly is one of the most beautiful regions in the country. That's a lake view. Never trust an effeminate man. He has nothing to trust. He is unfaithful to himself. He couldn't possibly be trustworthy to you. Never trust an effeminate man. The most influential man in my business life is John Paul DeJoria, 75 years old, self-made billionaire, the most positive and decisive human I have ever known. Most of you don't know him, but look him up, watch every video, and read everything about him. There's no downside to that. He will expand your mind and maybe even your bank account. John Paul DeJoria says, in managing people, never scold anyone. Write down these 3 things on paper before you meet with them. Number 1, what they did wrong. Number 2, how to do it right. Number 3, list all the things they normally do so well so they feel respected for what they do well. And then they walk out of that meeting not feeling like they've been reprimanded. Isn't that brilliant advice when you're running a company? Love that. Imagine having a lottery ticket in your possession that you never check the number. And then you do check the number and you find out it's a huge winner, let's say 150 million. And you're looking at that lottery ticket and you were sitting on it. And you're like, holy cow, I've been sitting on this thing for 3 months and I just finally got around to checking the number. You wished you cashed it in earlier, right? That's how I feel about focus. Focus. I was sitting on it my whole life. And then when I cashed it in at a certain age, I was a winner. What has made me a winner in life is my ability to focus on a topic or on a job and get it done. The reason why you don't get crap done is because you don't focus. That is a fact. Focus. The power of focus. Every phone call, every email, every keystroke, every conversation should be in the direction of one thing if you want to get something done. You've heard me say, a traveler said to Socrates, "How do I get to Mount Olympus?" And Socrates replies, "Just make sure every step you make is in the direction of Mount Olympus." I work out regularly. I'm strong. I'm solidly built. But today, I'm sore all over. From what? Rowing. I said, I hate doing cardio. I walk into the gym and everyone looks like a damn hamster on one of those hamster wheels, on the treadmills, the ellipticals, the stationary bikes, the Stairmaster. I hate cardio. Hate it. She says, I did too. She said, have you ever tried rowing? I said, no. She said, I challenge you to try rowing. Row a mile, 1,600 meters. Do it as fast as you can, perfect form, and see how that works for you. Well, Saturday. I work out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I did some rowing. Sunday, yesterday, sore in places I've never been sore, ever. It was more than just a mild challenge. She threw the gauntlet down. I did it. And I think rowing is going to be good for me. And all I did was 10 to 12 minutes, a mile. I did 1 mile, 1,600 meters, 1,609 meters to be exact. And my thoughts are to maybe do 2 miles, and not necessarily distance, but just to get my time down. Do you row at all? And the rowing machine was a matrix rowing machine, which has magnetic resistance. Very smooth. Have you ever done rowing? What do you think of it? I like it. I felt like I did squats. And I feel like upper body, like chest, shoulders, and especially right across my back, from like lats up to shoulders in the back, just totally worked on. And a little bit of exhaustion in the arms too. Fascinating. Yeah. So maybe rowing is going to be part of my workout. That's a possibility. How do you dress at the gym? What do you wear when you go to the gym? I barely care, as I'm just there to kind of bust ass and then get out. I'm not there to meet people, talk to anyone. Tell me, what do you wear when you go to the gym? I'm just like workout pants, like jogging pants, sneakers, and a t-shirt, sometimes a baseball cap, and my bone conduction headphones on, listening to I don't listen to music anymore when I work out. It's weird. I don't listen to music. I listen to podcasts when I work out. All right, so this is a 2-part question. What do you wear when you work out? And what do you listen to? Because usually the music coming over the speakers in the gym is fairly lame. It's usually like teenage girl music most of the time. Unless you go to a bodybuilding gym, then it's like heavy metal or hardcore, like rap, hip hop kind of stuff, which I don't mind. But I just can't stand most music coming over the speakers. What do you wear and what do you listen to? Young men, emulate older men that are mature and settled. Pay no mind to bitter, middle-aged men or most red pill men teaching you about women. That will create an unlikable persona in you. You'll repel good men as friends and, of course, women as lovers. And you only attract unlikable people in your life, especially if you are a man. You will attract unlikable men, bitter men, that you will mistake as friends. Friends should be gathering with something positive that they have in common. Not like there's this thing in the men's community that it's like, wow, you hate women? You had a bad experience with a woman? Me too. We must be friends. I don't even like being around people like that, or people that teach that. And there's a lot of those guys on YouTube. As I said, emulate older men that are mature and settled and come across with sanity, clarity, and reason. There's a handful of them out there. I have a conspiracy. What if people lived as long as they are meant to live? That would be another 60 years past retirement. I believe we're meant to live to about 120. But that would be expensive, wouldn't it? Can you imagine, a guy retires at 65 years old, but still is going to live another close to 60 years? Let's just say 50 years. Can you imagine some higher-ups saying, no, we need them to die between 75 and 85. We can't have everybody living to 120. Do you think that conversation has existed anywhere for those of you that do believe in or have a hunch that there is a depopulation agenda? I don't believe that there's an agenda to have people live longer. I think there's an agenda to depopulate the earth. Do you believe that? We must be friends then. Only kidding. Girls' night out. Here's my version of girls' night out. One wife teaching other wives how to frost a cake. Now that's a girls' night out. You heard me say this last year. If your woman dresses nicer for girls' night out than she does on her night out with you, you are totally screwed. You've been on social media long enough. You see women with their girls' night out. She doesn't dress like that for you, men, does she? Let's get real. And you know what? The women that follow me here are real. If they're not real, they don't last very long. And you gals know this. You know what girls' night out is all about. Here, let me just ask you for true confessions. Ladies, give me a true confession, will you? Tell me what girls' night out is really all about. And don't get woke on me. Tell me what it's really about. Finish your coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show, the home of sanity, clarity, and reason.